everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Boom. We are making Gotham great again. Well, I've been trying to talk about climate change as much as I can. I know the last couple of weeks we've been talking more election stuff, but climate collapse is still happening. It's still happening, which is why I'm not excited about Joe Biden at all. How can we be excited about Joe Biden? We said middle ground climate policy, no Green New Deal. Argued, I'm not for a Green New Deal. In the debate, Trump was like, you're for a Green New Deal. He was like, no, I'm not. Same thing in the VP debate. Mike Pence was like, you guys are for a Green New Deal. Kamala was like, I'm not for a Green New Deal. We don't want to save the human race. We want to profit from it before everybody dies. Because it's collapsing every time there's a report. It's always like, oh, it's happening faster and worse than we initially thought. Climate change, Arctic permafrost now melting at levels not expected until 2090. Series of anomalously warm summers. Anomaly. Anomalously. Sorry. Having a word day. Caused ground to thaw, researchers say. This is from a year ago. Let's talk about it. So the reason I'm bringing this up is all the vote any blue will do crowd. It's like, don't pressure Joe Biden yet. He's putting fossil fuel people in his cabinet. He's putting just Republicans who are always against climate change. John Kerry is the guy he's going to nominate to, it's going to get us back in the Paris Accord. Okay, great. I'm glad we're in the Paris Accord. But that's why I was so adamant for any candidate that had a real Green New Deal. And there was only 3 in the Democratic primary. Mike Gravel, who I love, I had on the show. I donated to him. He didn't stand a chance because they crushed him. Tulsi, who co-wrote the OFF Act, and Bernie Sanders' Green New Deal, who last summer of 19, he revamped it and put a real bold Green New Deal in there. I was like, this is the only thing we got. This is our last chance. So I'm sorry, centrists. You're going to get us killed. You're doing the work of the fossil fuel industry, which is insane. They're insane. They're crazy people. They're crazy people. They just profit. But the fossil fuel industry knows about this. Look, in 1977, Exxon did an internal study. In 1977, their own scientists found, burning fossil fuels in an internal combustion engine is causing climate change. Back then, they called it global warming. Exxon went, oh God. Had another study in the early 80s, more science, confirmed it even more, and then they slowly stopped. And then by the mid to late 80s, they were spending money on climate change denial. So they knew about it. So anyone's like, oh, it's cyclical. It's not cyclical. The oil companies knew about it in the 70s. So I'm sorry. I wasn't cheering in the streets when Joe Biden. I was like, okay, Trump lost. He's a climate denier. His whole cabinet was climate deniers. He literally had the head of Exxon Mobil as his Secretary of State when he first got Rex Tillerson. Literally, if that shows you what this country is, the State Department was run by an oil company, is in essence what happened. Of course, he got fired because Trump fired everybody like the crybaby tin pot dictator bitch that he is. And now we're replaced with this other rapist idiot, 2 old fuckheads that don't care that everyone's going to die because they're going to be dead. Permafrost has begun thawing in the Canadian Arctic more than 70 years early because of climate change, according to new research. It has been thought that the permafrost, ground that remains frozen for at least 2 years, would remain until at least 2090. Graham, your purity test. What more purity test do you need? So I'm sorry. When Ocasio-Cortez goes on CNN and said she's not bothered by Joe Biden not banning fracking, she said, I'm not bothered. Well, I'm not happy, but we'll try to pull him where? You think we don't have till 2090. Look, the UN report that came out 2 years ago. This is the thing. This is why AOC is so disappointing. She was the one who was like, when she got sworn in January of 18. I'm sorry. She got sworn in January of 19. She ran in 18. She was running on 18 because the UN report that came out the beginning of 2018 said we have less than 12 years. We have to get off of fossil fuels. We have to completely do this as a world, as a global economy by the year 2030. Otherwise, it's too late. This is why I hate incremental centrism. It is literally killing us. Your lesser of two evil bullshit is killing us. When Bernie got cheated and then he quit, I was furious. Oh, you Bernie support. No, it's not him. It's that he was the only guy that had a legitimate shot at getting in the White House that had a real Green New Deal. Yeah, but Graham, he might be Biden's secretary of meow, 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 meow. Oh, great. Maybe. They're just floating that out there to get dumb progressives to fall for another trick. And even if he does get in there, great. I'd love to have Bernie in Biden's cabinet. Well, how much will he be allowed to get done? My friend Joe Biden. But the study found thawing levels were above 150 to 240% above historic levels. I don't know how you read this and then go, yeah, I'm going to vote for Liz Warren, who wanted to green up the military. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris, who looked into the camera at the VP debates and said, we're not going to ban fracking. She said it 3 times. I don't know how you do this. How do you look in your I don't have kids of my own. I got 6 nieces and nephews. I'm supposed to look them in the eye and go, well, kids, lesser of two evils. So do you want to die just because there's no more breathable air? Or do you want to die because climate collapse has collapsed society and now there's just roving gangs and you got to fight yourself in some post-apocalyptic nightmare? Lesser of two evils. We could fix it if we had real leadership. I'm all for grassroots, but reversing climate change is going to take a top-down solution. Yay, first female woman of color vice president. And if she becomes president, now a woman can sit there and take money from the oil lobbies and let us all choke to death and die because she has no soul, just like the men have done. So, such great progress. Nosediving the human race into extinction by the first woman of color, that's exciting. I mean, it's really exciting. It's like I was so excited when Gina Haspel became head of the CIA because I was like, now a woman can be in favor of torture because she's pro-torture. She used to watch people get tortured, fly around to CIA black sites. That's so exciting, man. Such great change. It's the diversity of the ruling class. I'm so pumped for when Joe Biden gets sworn in and then they start putting rainbow flags on all the drones that kill poor people in the Middle East. I can't, it's going to be such a monumentous moment. I'm like, and the United States military, the number one polluter in the world, which keeps getting budget increases thanks to a democratically controlled Congress and the soulless maggots in the Republican Party. The Democrats are soulless maggots, but their maggots are diverse. They're a diverse set of soulless maggots. See? Isn't it exciting? Permafrost thawing levels were 240% higher than historical levels. 240% higher. How many of these reports do we have to read before it's like, general strike, folks, shut it down. These two parties are evil. They're getting us killed. The oil companies, done. Get them out. Get them out. Higher than the historic levels, and the ground sank 90 centimeters over the course of the study, which ran for 12 years from 2003 and 2016. For 12 years. So half of George W. Bush's presidency and all of Obama's. Obama, the hope and change guy. You remember Obama? Opened up the Arctic to drilling twice. Put in more pipelines, let Standing Rock happen, lied about drinking Flint's water. Flint still has contaminated water, by the way. It's either year 2020. It still has contaminated water. Remember when the BP oil spill happened in the Gulf and he just said, I'll just take care. What? There should have been sweeping reform after that. Done, oil companies, you're done. That's what he could have done, but he didn't. There were obstructionist Republicans. No, he had control of the House and the Senate for a couple of years there. He didn't do anything. Because both of these parties don't give a shit, because they're owned by the oil lobbies. They're owned by the military industrial complex. They're owned by the big pharmaceutical companies. But let's read another one of these studies and vote for the lesser two evils, you dipshits. When permafrost thaws, it releases carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases stored in beneath into the atmosphere. Thanks, Alyssa Milano. There, in turn, cause temperatures to rise and create a perpetual cycle where most permafrost melts. Man, hey, Graham, how come you didn't cheer in the streets when Biden was declared the winner? I went, oh, well, Trump's gone. That's good. And then this is who's going to be in charge.
Look, let me be clear also. I'm not banning fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else. And I'm going to protect Pennsylvania jobs, period. No matter how many times Donald Trump lies, he's never delivered on his promise for a big infrastructure plan. He told you in 17, I've got an infrastructure plan coming. And then 18, 19, and 20. He hadn't done a thing. It's right up there where they say he's going to protect pre-existing conditions.
You know what would give a lot of people jobs, Joe Biden? A Green New Deal. That's what you could have run on. That's a populist platform in the middle of a pandemic where we have record unemployment. We have people lining up in every city in America for miles, for blocks and miles, and for food because they don't have food. We don't have a new stimulus plan. We've gotten one $1,200 check and unemployment. Okay, but that ran out. Gee, a Green New Deal would answer the jobs problem. In the Green New Deal, people that are working in the fossil fuel industry, they don't lose their jobs. They're transitioned at the same salary from their job in fossil fuels to green jobs. They don't lose work. They don't lose money. They don't take a pay cut. They get the same job at the same minimum at the same wage. Free public college and universities to everybody. And what will be in all of these schools, all of this green energy will spend all this money to get all these young people, get all this brain power behind coming up with new. I've done videos on how algae is removing CO2 from the air, right? On a soil that removes it, methane gas, like a bacteria in the soil that removes methane gas. I've done all these stories of stuff that's in existence, technology and scientific research that's happened that just needs money to produce on a mass scale. Compostable plastics made from American farmers. We need to ban plastics. Oh, that's crazy. How do we ban plastics? It's easy. And then we put American farmers to work making plastics out of corn and potato, all this stuff that's already out there. Okay, great. The human race is going to die. He doesn't care because he's not going to be around to see it. A Green New Deal would give millions of Americans in some of the hardest hit economic areas, rural, middle of the country, where factories were closed down, open them back, put Americans to work at good union paying jobs rather than bombing poor countries because they won't give us our oil. We could spend that money on building an infrastructure. He's not going to, Trump ran on, I'm going to build the infrastructure. And of course he didn't deliver because he's got to keep the war machine going. Biden's not going to, he's going to keep the war machine going. He was vice president when Obama dropped more bombs than Bush. You think he's going to stop bombing? Guess what? Iran, Venezuela, or Syria, we're going to have boots on the ground by the end of his first year. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Support what we do because the corporate media is not going to do that. They're just not. 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 Show this video to your big Biden supporter friends, and they'll watch this video, and at the end of it, they'll go, "Yeah, but he's better than Trump." Okay, so we go extinct by 2045 rather than 2040. Got it. Awesome. Yeah, aren't you glad you let the Democratic Party screw over progressives? If you're a progressive and you want to have all your hopes and dreams suffocated, join the Democratic Party. We're running out of time. Thanks for watching the show, folks. I'm going to keep talking about this. While the centrists go back to brunch and watch the planet die, I'll keep talking about this. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.